Tim Krueger, Ravi, Lulla with you courtside. Jays fall 69-60. I don't know. To me, it felt just like we just couldn't overcome that huge deficit we got down in the first half. I mean, second half, I thought we played pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, it was really, I thought they played pretty well for about 30 of the 40 minutes. Played pretty well for the first 10 minutes. Really bad the last 10 minutes of the first half, and then played pretty well in the second half. Really, it's about a 4-point game until they start fouling and it ends up being 9.
Right.
But, I mean, it's a 1-2 possession game at the end with what I think is a pretty decent Ohio State team. I'm more encouraged than anything else. I thought they were further along at this point in the season than I was necessarily expecting them to be as far as some of the young guys. Now, Froling really struggled with turnovers. Epperson's had a little bit of turnover issues as well. And that really is what kind of dug them in the hole in the first half. So still got to get some maturation out of those guys. But overall, I really wasn't too discouraged by that effort.
I was, because I've watched Ohio State twice. This is far and away the worst game they've played. Woods played great, but the rest of the team did not really perform very well.
Sure.
I just thought, except for that last 8, 12-minute stretch when Martin played pretty well, our bigs have just got to play better.
Yeah,
for 40 minutes.
Absolutely. The bigs were the biggest issue in this game. And like you said, until that, whatever got into Martin that last 8 minutes until he was unbelievably fouled out on a double foul.
I have watched basketball for a lot of years. I've never seen a double foul called with 2 minutes to go in a 2-point game. It was just incredible.
It was, I'm sure we'll get to that in the post game, but just unbelievably confusing and dumbfounding call. But besides that, Martin played incredibly well down the stretch. He really kept them and got them in the game. They had as much as a 4-point lead at one point. If that's the Martin, not necessarily that level, even get 85-90% of what he showed there going forward, I think you're in pretty good shape. But one of either Epperson or Froling has to step up.
Yeah, absolutely. Davian Mintz, I thought he played pretty well. Played some good defense in the second half. He kind of led us. And Zigorowski, they had both Zigorowski and him at the same time.
I liked them playing Davion at the 2.
Yeah.
I thought him playing point.
Even though he pretty much
he would
bring
the ball, he would bring the ball up, and then Zigorowski would kind of take over in the half court.
But
sometimes.
you have 2 guys that can kind of get to the hole.
You kind of get to the hole, and if you've got Tyshawn in there, you've got 3. Yeah. It opens things up a little bit. I like having him in there at the same time. I like it when Zagorowski is kind of the more primary point, even if Davion's pushing it in transition. I think the 2 is a little bit more natural for the way he likes to play as far as having the ball in his hands and controlling the game, but not more for himself as far as getting shots than facilitating for others. I think that he's a little bit better at that.
And I think there's still, you can see Mac is still searching for that lineup combination that works.
You've got a lot of new guys in a lot of different spots. I don't think he's quite found the group or rotation that he's going to be comfortable with moving forward. But I think there's enough there. I think he will find something he likes.
Unfortunately, I think this is a game we'll look back in March and go, man, that's one we could have had.
Oh, for sure.
We could have had this game.
You're up by 4 with, I think, under 3 minutes left. That's a winnable game.
Yeah.
And that's one of those that by the end of the season, you probably win because you've got some more experience under your belt. But this is a game that young teams lose.
Yep, absolutely. Join Ravi and I up next for Overtime, sponsored by Equitable Bank and DJ's Dugout, right across the street at DJ's Dugout here. And so Jays, go down 69-60. We'll talk to you then.